Friends, I want to just take a moment to talk about these sheets here. We're going to see them in some form or fashion in each room. You're going to see at the beginning of each unit that we'll have the big picture question. And this is good for the entire unit. So every session is asking and answering this question: who is God? God is our creator and king. We will also have the key passage poster, and that is the scripture that we are all focusing on as a memory verse. And these two things are the same throughout the entire unit. For each session, you're going to have the big picture, and you're going to have the story point. So story picture, story point, and one for each session as you are as we are telling this great story beginning at the beginning of creation. And so as we go travel through this story, you'll see that with each unit, these will come down, and we will start the new unit with the new big picture question and the new key passage. And then we will add these beneath or around or near them. And you don't need to hang these up each week. You're finding them in your folder, which both services have to use as a teaching tool. And then that week after the Sunday, either myself or my helper, we will get those hung up so that you have them to look back upon as you're training, teaching. So when we're talking about the result of sin, we can look back and remember that God created everything for his glory, that sin is disobeying God and his commands. We could talk about how sin entered the world, and then the result, the consequences of sin, that every action has a reaction, whether it be good or bad, and then going on. And then once each unit is over, I will turn my attention around to the giant timeline. This is actually the small group timeline. And so what you'll find is that this timeline is a representation of everything you just saw on the other wall. And each room, with the exception of the nursery at this time, but we will be incorporating that for them at some point as well. We're just trying to figure out where to put that right now. We will work these around the room in an effort to continue to look back and reflect at how each story is leading us to Jesus, who was always there from the very beginning. But everything points to him. And so the point would be for us to use this as a tool to look back and to continue to learn while looking back in order to go forward. I hope that makes sense. And another tool that I would like to talk about are these new maps that are in the room. They're colorful. They're so big. I love the size of them. They're easy to see, easy for a lot of people to get around and look at. Please use them. Ask questions if you are struggling with any part of any of these tools, but I would love for you to take a look at them and use them as part of your lessons, part of your planning. And then each room also has some form of the gospel, God's plan for us. The gospel hasn't changed, but the method in which we get to look at these posters has changed. They've updated this, which I think is really, it's lovely. I love these icons. The questions are the same as what were there before, and it's just a way to help us be able to speak to children about the gospel. Please let me know if you have any questions about any of these tools, and if there's anything that you are lacking in the room and have a hope of having, please let me know.